welcome to Ted Davies Artistry, Ted Talks Timepieces. Good morning to everybody. It's a beautiful day in the lake today. It's a little bit chilly, but it is gorgeous sunwise. And let's talk a little bit about some nautical themed watch that I have. That's kind of a fun watch. I think you guys are going to like. But let me introduce myself first. If you're first time here, this is Ted Davies Artistry, Ted Talks Timepieces. I am Ted Davies. I am an author and artist and a collector, and I collect watches and old books and comic books and all kinds of different antiques and that. And I pretty much wanted to do this show just to show you guys some of my passion about timepieces, about watches. So, but first, let's talk about my sponsor, one of them. Actually, Indian River Roasting Company supplies me with all the caffeine I need. And today we have espresso in our coffee cup, or in my coffee cup, and it is awesome. Check out their video, and we'll be right back. Here at Ted Davies Artistry, we take coffee seriously. And so does our sponsor, Indian River Roasting Company. It's fair trade, organic, and they're artisans just like me. The only difference is I use watercolor and ink and they use coffee beans. And I enjoy it all through my day. So do yourself a favor, go to the description when you like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Find Indian River Roasting Company's website. Use the promo code CAFFEINATED2021 and save 10% on your purchase. Yeah, so check out that website in the description. It should be under Indian River Roasting Company. And also use that promo code CAFFEINATED2021. It'll save you 10% and get you some just a little bit of discount and some great coffee. We also have a new sponsor, Cashman's Comics in Bay City, Michigan. John Cashman is the man when it comes to comics in Bay City and actually nationwide. He does some great things with shipping to get all the collectors everything they need nationwide. So check him out. Let's look at their commercial too. Hold on one second.
And every day I wake up feeling the same way now. Need to find something to believe. Every night the dreams we make, they're haunting my head now.
And like I said, John's great. One of the things about John, he's a staple in Bay City. He's the remaining comic book store right now. He's been there for 25 years and just a terrific guy. Really check out what he's doing. He supplies me with all my needs when it comes to comic books, and he's just been a great resource for me. We're also part of the Rising Tide Broadcast Network. Take a screenshot of that. We have education and entertainment 7 days a week. We are a group of creatives that help creatives build their business, and it is an awesome thing to be part of, and we are very proud to be affiliated with the Rising Tide Broadcast Network. Today, we start out with Ted Talks Timepieces, and then later in the day, we go to, I think, one of the best shows that we have on there, besides my shows, of course. It is Comic Book Spectrum at 7 p.m. Eastern. It is an awesome group of 4 gentlemen that do some really good reviews, and it's realistic, and it's authentic, and it's positive for the most part. And it is a great show. And that comes in at 7 o'clock. Let's see, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard. I don't think Creative as Hale is on tonight. They're usually on at 8 p.m. on Thursdays with Amy Hale and her husband, John. They're terrific. But because I was on Monday, they had a special show for me, which is awesome, and I appreciate them greatly. But tonight, let's see, at 9 o'clock, there is Stupid O'Clock. Check them out, and that's a pretty interesting show. I think you guys will dig that. A lot of good conversation, and it's always interesting to listen to it. So check that out. But again, all during the week, we've got some great things happening with Rising Tide. And check out everybody's YouTube channel too, because we all have them on here, if I'm not mistaken. And there's a great group of broadcasters, and I'm so happy to be part of it. Okay. So, let me get to the comments. Good morning, guys. Carl, Donna, how you doing? Hopefully everybody's doing well. I don't see anything on Facebook. I've got a few things happening on Facebook, but I don't see anything on there. So just bear with this the modern technology right now. So still getting used to all the StreamYard comments and everything else. Just bear with me. Today I am wearing the Casio Duro black, and it is one of my favorites, sunburst dial. And there's a reason why I'm wearing this today, and I'll tell you about that in a second. Um, the watch that I've got today is a interesting watch. You know, everybody knows that we live on a lake and all that blah blah blah. There's anchors and there's all this kind of different nautical theme stuff that's going on here. Well, this watch I picked up last year. I want to say April-ish, something like that, and it's a nautical theme. It's made by Nautica, the company, and it's a nice watch for what it is. But when you're looking at divers' watches and you're looking at other things, aesthetics are one thing, functionality is another. And when I say that, some of the time, not to be a poser or anything like that, but sometimes you want the look of something, but not necessarily all the bells and whistles on it. I know that as my dad was a car designer, and there were certain, models had certain looks of faster cars or higher, bigger motors or whatever, and didn't really have the badging or anything that stated it, but they wanted that look. For example, a Ford Mustang. You could get a Ford Mustang when I was growing up with a 4-cylinder or the 8-cylinder. Of course, we all wanted the 8-cylinder, but not everybody could afford that, right? So they would make the car look like it was a 5-liter Mustang engine. So in that, this is kind of what the watch I feel is going for. It's got some really cool features on it, but it's not quite the diver watch that they stated it is. And that's why I said a diver-ish watch. Not everybody needs a diver's watch, but you might want the look of it. So good morning, Amy. How you doing? So I just want to make sure that everybody knows that. So I put out the disclaimer. With that, no further ado, let's bring it up. I'm going to duck away here for a second. So the Nautica watch that we've got here is called Ibiza, or Ibiza. It's Ibiza, and it is a watch that looks like a diver's watch. It looks nautical. It's got nautical flags throughout the face there, and it's a really good looking watch. I really like it, and I wear it a ton. But there's a couple of drawbacks. One of the things about this watch that I really, really like, let me go through the pros first, is it's good size. I believe it's a 40-inch diameter, or excuse me, 40 millimeter diameter around the full dial. It has a 100-meter water resistance, which is always kind of my thing for when I'm on the beach and that. I try to at least have 100 meters. That way I don't have to worry about any of the water or anything getting into the case and ruining the movement. It does not have a screw-down crown. This crown is, it's basically, there's a gasket in there. Once you pull the crown out to set the time and the date, then you push it back in. There's a rubber gasket in there that seals it, which is cool, but it's not quite what you'd want with a diver's watch. And I'll compare that with the Casio Duro here in a minute. This bezel, these bezels, and this was kind of I misunderstood this. This bezel on this watch does not move. And it's hard to time things when you can't move the bezel. With the Casio that I'm wearing today, you can move that, and I'll show you that in a second. But this one, if you were actually technically diving with air tanks and everything else, there's no way you could set this to know exactly what your air time would be. And that's not functional. I mean, this is again, it's the look of it, not necessarily the function of it. The main reason I really got this, though, was because of the nautical flags. Every nautical flag, at least 12 of them, is on this watch. And it's interesting because you learn so much about different things in the nautical field. I was really interested in that anyway, just me being a dork. And it was it was really cool. Anyway, I really like the watch, though. I really think that this watch is it's a good looking watch. There's not much lume. The hands on here actually glow very, very brightly with recharged lume. The real interesting thing about this watch is that it's got an inner circle here. If you see the circle around the dial, and it's full of like a fluorescent green color. and there's actually a small pressure hole right here. You can't see it on this, but it's basically a hole. And what it is that as the watch goes into depth and water, it actually this green line will start showing up on the outside to show you your depth, which is kind of neat. But when you're on the beach and you've got a hole on the face of your watch that could get clogged, not very good. Not a very good design, I don't think. It's a flaw. And I think that they could have really come up with a better way to really come up with something that was cool to have, but I don't know. I just think they missed the mark on that a bit. Um, and in that, having stated that, on the back of the watch, the casing actually says the let me flip this over. It says that this watch, the depth rating actually, or the depth indicator that I was just talking about, isn't quite accurate. So, like I said, it's not quite it's a nice case back. Don't get me wrong; they do a nice job with the sail logo and all that stuff, and the crown also has that same sail logo. And like I said, it's very, very Nautica in the company. If you can see that or not. And they do a nice job, like here, they've got the buckle. I don't know if you can see the buckle here. It's signed. Bring it down there. I mean, it looks nice. I mean, they did a nice job, but again, it's a lot of flash. It doesn't really have the substance of what I consider a dive watch to have. It's great. The majority of people would really use this watch very, very well. The other thing about a dive watch, and I've got this kind of on almost every dive watch I've got has this on it. Except I think for one, has a date on it. And if you're diving or if you're going to any depth or anything, the last thing I'm going to be checking is the date on my watch. But it's there, and I think that the movement that they have in this, I don't even know what movement this is, to be honest with you. That was the other thing about Nautica. They weren't real specific on the movements. I don't know if they're in house or if I believe they're probably outsourced, and that's something to think about too when you're buying the watch. Again, this watch was $40 when was purchased. It wasn't meant to be a huge investment, but I wanted to show people, what you can get for the money. I think it's a good looking watch. I use this watch a ton. If I'm working outside, if I'm setting up at the market for my wife's business, even on the beach, even with that pressurized hole thing on the face, I still do I use this quite a bit. And the the band is excellent. The watch band itself is very good. It's comfortable. And it's a durable watch. It really is. I have to say, it's a resin case. It's nothing fancy when it comes to that. I've noticed that the numerals on the bezel do kind of wipe off, though. I think that they could have done a little bit better job on the paint. But as far as the dial and the water resistance and everything else, it's not a bad watch. It's not a diver's watch. So when you're looking at Nautica, keep that in mind. I mean, unfortunately, I know that. Let me bring this back. I know that I've bought a few things from Nautica over the last, say, 20 years, and I've kind of been disappointed recently, say the last 2 years or so. I think we bought, like things like boots, that kind of stuff, and they're well-made products usually. Good morning, Willow. But I'm just not a big fan right now of the fit and finish and the quality of what I've been getting from Nautica. And maybe it's just outsourcing. Maybe it's just the products that I'm getting. Maybe I'm not spending enough for the higher end stuff. I don't know. But I remember years ago, it used to be a little bit more of what I considered a better brand. But with that, I've always liked Nautica look. I don't know if I'm going to buy another Nautica watch. Being a watch collector now and knowing the different things that I've learned over the years, I just think that Nautica is great, but I think that it's just not meant for everybody. Again, I think that this is a great watch. I think that you're getting a good amount of value for it, and it's actually been sold out on Nautica's website. It's completely sold out. So having said that, aesthetics are important to people, I guess. But again, it's a good watch. It's just not if you're looking for a diver's watch, it's not what I would suggest. Now with the Casio Duro, and you can check this back on my other YouTube videos, you'll notice that I'll click this here. You hear that? This bezel works With the Nautica, it doesn't. And with this bezel, you can actually time. If you are a diver, you can time your air tanks and that's something that a lot of people it's very important. If you're unaware of how much air you've got in certain depths, and that it can be very dangerous. And I'm not saying this is like the perfect diver's watch, but this is a very good entry diver's watch with a screw down crown, which makes it 200 meters of water resistance compared to the Nautica one that's only 100 meters that doesn't have a screw down crown. The case back is screw down as well. There's a lot of things about this watch that is really truly made for depth swimming and in the water, really doing things that are meant to be in the water. This Ibiza is they market it well. And they've got a really good thing if you go on their website. It's underwater, and they show you how the depth indicator works with the pressurized fluid inside of it, and it's a really cool looking watch. But when it comes down to it, I've never seen it pressurized. I've never seen that fluorescent green depth indicator even work. So again, like I said, it's not a bad watch, but I wouldn't trust it to be in deep water with. That's for sure. Not bad for the beach, not bad for setting up at the market, or if you're out on a rainy day, or if you're kayaking or something like that, it's a good watch. But as far as the overall, it's a diver-ish watch. It looks like it's a diver's watch, but it's not. A little bit of a poser. But for $40, I'm not going to argue about it. They're durable, and if you want to keep it, or if you want to, as the battery wears out, if you want to try to replace the battery in it, that's fine too. But it's really just up to you. I think that there's a lot of things that can be said about the watch, but for me, it's more of just a beater, and it's got some really cool nautical flags on it. So I dig it. It's cool. Okay, any questions today, guys? I just wanted to see. Carl, I'm reading that. I love moving the bezels around. Yeah, I do too. It becomes, the ratcheting sound is just awesome on that San Martin that Christine bought me. Oh, that thing is like butter. It's so good. Even these, the Casio Duros are great too. But yeah, I can drive Christine pretty much nuts if it's dead silent and all I'm doing is, yeah, it just drives her crazy. So that's worth that's worth money. That's worth money to me. Okay, so drinking with the Davies tomorrow night. We have, let's double check it here, Sangrelisa. It is a drink that it's been around for a while, but we renamed it. We're doing a couple new things with it, and it is it's a really potent mixture of sangria and some liquors that are just, yeah, it is it's going to be a good drink, and I think you guys are going to enjoy it. Christine's doing did some major homework on it, and I know that there's going to be a lot of happy drinkers with that particular drink. So hopefully you guys will check us out tomorrow night at 6 o'clock, Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard with Drinking with the Davies. And I want to thank you guys again for checking out my Kickstarter and investing or sharing and liking my Kickstarter Grim 101. I'm going to show you that video real quick before we go. And I hope everybody's having a good day. Everybody should be hopefully outside and enjoying this weather. Hopefully the weather's good where you're at. And yeah, so give me 1 second. Let me find the video here, and I will be back in a second.
I was invisible until she saw me. No, really. I've been floating around this cemetery for years. I guess my origins, or my beginnings, as it were, should be my start to this tale. Unfortunately, I recall only this place, and from where I come from, well, that's anyone's guess. This relic of a book is a cruel guide, Grim 101. What a terrible title for such a dreadful manual of despair. I cannot believe that I would have taken such a supernatural vocation. But a duty is a mistress in this solitude of eternal watching. I have been a mere observer, at best, for more than 150 years.
And I appreciate, like I said, everybody checking that out. We've got a new, I've got a bunch of artwork that's going to be placed out there, so you can see a few of the more detailed color pieces that I'm doing for the book. But yeah, it's all there, and check it out because I appreciate you guys looking into what the campaign has to offer. So, thanks again. No envy, no fear. You guys have a great day. Try to enjoy your day. Be healthy. I'm going in for my second shot today. Yeah, this afternoon. So we'll see how the weekend plays out. But just everybody be safe, and we will talk to you soon. And listen, check us out on Drinking with the Davies tomorrow. I would love to see you guys there. We'll talk to you soon.